Okay, so Bruno, do you think
Hello.
we got the new goats into V2 after
I
last
mean,
tournaments? Because like Rapha Maxter won. Like it's already second time they dethroned keltz and Sirius, right?
yeah, it is the second time, and as we know, Rapha and Maxter are the ones practicing the most out of everyone. And now
Hmm.
that they are starting to, get ahead of the competition, Rapha isn't the kind of player to let anyone surpass him.
Hmm. Do you really think they practicing that much more than anyone else? Because like I actually felt that they not even practicing that much. I don't know if it's because of Maxter that he's working and he doesn't really have time. They also practicing at weird times because I see them like asking for the games on Discord and they're looking for the games after midnight or like very early in the day.
Yeah, they don't. The thing is, they don't only practice together. Rapha's
Hmm.
always looking to play 2v2s with random people, and
Uh-huh.
Maxer also plays a lot with like Spanish people. Like I've
Hmm.
played a lot of games just with Maxer and random Spanish people, just
Hmm.
because sometimes they're at work and I get bored or something. I don't know.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, so they playing a lot of individually, and still, what is surprising me is Rafa still playing a lot of duels. I don't know if it's because of the contract that he has to stream hours, and then he has no other games to play, so he just decides to play duels, or if he has some inside info about new Quake coming, or if he I don't know
It
he
does
just
that.
likes, or if he likes to play duel.
I'm not sure. I mean, I've never been a dual guy in Quake Champions, so I don't really see the appeal that much.
Yeah.
But even Rafa plays a lot of duels still. Maybe there's going to be something in QuakeCon, like a BYC or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, what I really think, do you think Rafa choosing Maxter like before everything started, he had everyone to choose from, right? Because like I think everybody before KeenCon started would really appreciate playing with Rafa.
Yeah,
Do you think he put a lot of time into choosing his teammate? Because they also announced quite late that they're gonna play together. Do you think like it was a well thought decision by him to pick Maxter?
I'm not sure. Like it's hard when you think about Rafa. Like everyone would like to play with him,
Hmm.
but would he play well with anyone?
Hmm.
I think we've talked about this a few times before,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that Rafa needs or like prefers someone that he can, try to micromanage and he
Hmm.
heavily focus on communication. And Maxter, in our opinion at least, is better if he's left to his, to his
Hmm.
style.
Hmm.
And communication wise, he still has a way to go, but
Hmm.
it's working out for them. Now, if there was more competition,
Hmm.
say next year would be a 2v2, like a 3 2v2 lands each 100k,
Hmm.
would that team still be the best? Maybe not, but right now they are.
Yeah, that will be up to discussion because then I think Razy will stop being the professional CS player and then he will be
Yeah.
like playing much more, and I think that team would have a lot of chance to beat them. Do you think now after they beat Sirius and keltz 2 times, do you think it's over and they completely like surpass them, or like do you think Sirius and keltz still can come back, for example, for this KeenCon or this next Estoty 2v2 Cup and still beat Rapha Maxter? It's over for them. They are stuck on one level and they cannot go any higher. And as soon as Maxter Rapha already won against them, they will be keep winning against them every single time. How do you
Hmm.
see that? Because I personally, uh, it was kind of roller coaster last KingCon because they started really strong, like Rapha Maxter, and they
Yeah.
beat Sirius and keltz in the upper bracket, and then I was like, okay, there is no chance that they're gonna lose like in the final if Sirius keltz gonna make it out of loser bracket. Then they met in the final, and then I had like I was watching the game a little bit, and I was
It's
thinking,
really close.
yeah, that Sirius and keltz still can like come back from loser bracket and win like you know both games. So
Uh,
how do you see that?
It's hard because I like level wise or like tactic wise, I don't think Sirius and Kelts are going to improve a lot more. But when you have a player like Sirius,
Hmm.
it really just depends how much he's hitting in that game, right?
Hmm.
Because if he's given a rail and he starts hitting, there's really not a lot any team can do.
Hmm.
So I think they always have a chance to win. It just gets smaller and smaller
Hmm.
if the other teams keep getting better.
I'm just curious if, for example, because I know Rafa is like analyzing a lot and he's going deep into the game and etc. And I'm curious if he, for example, because we can see some patterns in like Sirius and Kelt's game. Like I don't see, for example, so keltz is running around the map. We know that items are coming up. Keltz is like kind of attacking those items.
Yeah,
Sirius is never really like 100% committing because I think he's just staying on the distance and he's like looking for shots to hit basically
yeah,
from distance or coming from the back or the side and deal a lot of damage. He never gonna go for the item itself. Like even if the item is there, I think he would prefer to actually like stay outside of the item zone but have like comfortable, like position and distance to keep hitting.
yeah. He doesn't want to risk losing a weapon. Basically,
Yeah,
if there's any chance of a full fight, you will often stay back.
mhm. Plus, like if he really goes into the mess and tries to pick up the item, it means he's not gonna be hitting as much, and he always wants to deal like the most damage. So I'm curious if Rafa ever, for example, like discuss it with Maxter that they want to play like certain way on the items, or for example, really focus fire like I don't know, kelts and killing kelts before, or like if they had some any specific plan going like to play against Celts and Sears? Because what do you think is the key to beat Celts and Sears? Like, what's the biggest factor for like Rapha Maxter, which is the only one team who is like beating Celts and Sears now?
I mean, that's with a team like Kelson Series, as you said, one guy goes for items and the other kind of stays alone. There are technically like two ways to beat them, right? You either rush every item so that the guy who doesn't go for it doesn't really have a chance to help, or you
Hmm.
keep going for the guy that doesn't go for the items.
Hmm.
And I think Rafa and Maxer kind of do a little bit of both.
Hmm.
Like they never fight outside of items because
Hmm.
they go for every yellow, for every light, they go for every heavy. So
Hmm.
Sirius a lot of the times versus them doesn't really get to do much damage because
Hmm.
they play at such a fast pace that by the time he gets there,
Hmm.
they're already going for another item. So Kelts a lot of time is left alone.
Hmm.
And I think whatever the tactic actually is to beat them, I think they've already kind of figured it out.
Hmm. It's more of a feeling, I guess. Like everything
Yeah.
with Quake is a lot of about the game sense, not specific tactic. But also there is some places on the map. For example, what I realized is when they play Awoken, Sirius and Celts, and there is Mega Health, Sirius usually really wants to fight from like either like the nail forced floor water area and keep railing them, while
Yeah.
Celts is
That's
like
the same
fighting
thing
on
I
the
do
Mega,
every time.
or like he's like playing from that side, so from T and stuff. So and
Yeah.
maybe they kind of realized all those like places on like on all the maps, because also like if we take CK into consideration, like Sirius and Celts with such good hit scans, they should be really strong on that map. But because that map is a lot about like rushing items, because if you cannot really play outside of the items on CK as you do on Awoken, for example.
Yeah. That map is all about the item rotation.
Yeah, that's why they are not really the best on that map, because they're not really going for items. But if they would be going like only for items, like both of them, it will be, maybe that will be still like really good map for them. But what I realized as well is like RMV and Dramis are playing really good. I didn't
Yeah.
manage to like fully watch the game between between RMV Dramis and Sirius Celts. Did you remember that game from
I remember it
yesterday?
was very close.
Very
I
close.
didn't I didn't watch all of it. I remember it was very close.
Hmm.
That's all I remember. Almost like just as close as Max Ruffer versus Kel series in the final.
Hmm. And it's also weird because like RMV Ram is playing super fast and Sirius Celts are playing much slower, and the game is still like super close, right?
Yeah, they're just literally running everywhere with a
Hmm.
rail out of all weapons as well.
Yeah, I remember we played them and they just completely wrecked us. Really, like, but also it's really weird to play lately because I don't know why. Kilson has like multiple connections. He's paying like 150 euro per two connections. and still it
Wow.
sucks because like his ping is jumping. So I
I
don't
mean,
know.
he lives in Germany. German internet, man.
Yeah, but like when he played QPL, like his connection was great. Like there was never problem with his connection in the past. So that's surprising for me. But anyway, he had some like internet issues, and with RMV dramas, like servers are kind of weird, and you need to play like EU West, which is like for some people is good, for some people is bad. It was just like disaster. We couldn't hit anything, and I was like, yeah, it's basically GG. But yeah, but they playing really good. They playing really good, and they improved a lot. And other than those teams, I think Crazy Avenger managed to like go a little bit further this time.
Yeah,
Like
but I don't
not
think they're
like the
gonna
time
practice
before,
until
but
the
in
land still.
in general, yeah, yeah. So that's it only. I'm really disappointed about ANTOWKA and St0n3 because they seem to be doing really good in Estoty Cups, like 2v2. They often go like to top 8, top 4, something like this, but they always seem to have some problem with KeenCon.
Yeah, it's weird. For me, they're like I don't know. They kind of try to play it like Maxer and Rapha style,
Hmm.
but neither of them has the same quality of Maxer and Rapha, obviously.
Hmm. Yeah, and also like they always play it like this, and it seems like they kind of never really changed or adapt. They always trying to do the same.
Yeah, they have that one gear.
Yeah, so if it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. So sometimes they can get stomped by someone because they cannot switch like during the game. I think ANTOWKA is super fast and he's kind of really wants to go for items, and St0n3 needs to follow up, and I think the issue is like also with the champions pool for them because
Yeah,
ANTOWKA seems to play a lot of champions, but St0n3 is kind of stuck to all the same champions. So like to
yeah.
kill
Stone has
to
the same champion pool as I do, basically.
You
He
think
plays
so?
four. He plays 3, 4 champions, and that's
So
it.
so Aizen and what?
Heisen Galina Visor.
Jesus.
But it's not that surprising to me to see ANTOWKA and Stone, kind of stuck
Hmm.
because they've been kind of the same level they have been for years.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think the only reason they
Yeah.
appear to be better or having more potential early on is because no one was practicing yet.
Hmm.
And in Tochka and Stone, they have both been grinding the game. Maybe not together, but they've both individually been grinding their game for
Hmm.
years. And now that everyone else started to grind as well, uh, you know, they just stagnated a bit.
Hmm. And what do you think about vedmedik and yenOm? This is
I think they
interesting.
have a lot of potential.
I think
They
so
are
too.
really good. Like I don't think they have like all of the tactic figured out yet,
Hmm.
but communication wise and mechanics wise, they are already very good. As soon as they play a little bit more, because you get like they don't really get to practice much either because they live in
Hmm.
NA, so
Hmm.
they can only play at like 10 p.m. forwards,
Hmm.
and not many people can play versus them or like playing versus them on
Hmm.
high ping. But if they manage to find a bit more practice, I think by the time they come to the LAN, they're going to be a dark horse.
Yeah, I got mixed feelings about it. Like, so you think it's more about communication and skills, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like it's really weird because on paper, like you wouldn't say that they're gonna be super good mechanically, but they are. And like communication obviously should be really good because they are native English speakers. But
of course.
also like I don't know, I really don't like those matchups like between EU and NA. Like these servers are really I don't know what to say, but really for me it has like huge impact sometimes. Like for real. That's why I cannot wait for Spain and like see like because they appear to be really good. Like maybe not
Yeah,
this is Estoty because they kinda I don't know, they kinda drop out early. I don't remember who they lost to. But like the one before, they were super good and we also played them and it also felt like we can't really like do anything. It's like they got good hero pool, they playing a lot of lights, they were playing like Nyx and Slash, Athena, etc. But I'm also curious how are they staying so good like mechanically and just in the game? Because vedmedik and yenOm they basically didn't touch the game at all for last years. When there was QPL, they didn't really play, right? So they
Yeah,
were
no,
like
they
outside of the
didn't really
game
play.
for years.
I
So
mean, they
how?
played the Diabolical, I guess.
Okay.
So they were still competing in some sort of team modes, but 2v Quake champions not that much.
Hmm. Okay. So
I'm really curious to see them on LAN. Them on and Dramis and RMV team are the two teams I'm most curious to see how they're gonna adapt to LAN. Because
yeah,
I was talking about this with Dramis and RMV on the last
yeah.
KeenCon stream,
Hmm.
and they do acknowledge that they get a lot of advantage due to their aggressive style
Hmm.
matched with the ping difference that they have. And for vedmedik and yenOm, it probably also affects them a little bit.
Hmm. Okay, so that's actually good, like information that they kind of, acknowledge that not that they have advantage, but the game might change, like not necessarily in their like
Yeah,
favor or disfavor, but in general it can be just different. So that's first step to like be good on land, because they can, because like I always, when I went to land, I knew that the game might work like in completely different way than online, and it's not necessarily gonna be better. Sometimes it can be, worse, or sometimes
yeah,
can be better. Like some things can be worse, some can be better. So if they acknowledge it, that's a really good step forward, and I think that's the sign that they can still be extremely good, like when it comes to LAN. The
yeah.
worst
As
thing
soon as they
is,
get to LAN, they'll play
yeah.
a bit and realize, okay, so we can't play as aggressive. Maybe we'll need to play a bit more defensive, and we'll see.
Hmm. Hmm. Because I think, for example, with Yap, it might be kind of different story. Because like I watched his stream few times, and some people were arguing in his chat that he's hitting a lot on like on that ping, and he said he's gonna hit much more on LAN, where he was already on LAN in Romania, and he didn't hit as much as online because he kind of was used to play only on one ping. So even if the ping is lower, it doesn't necessarily is better for him. It's just different, and he's not used to it. So it's like, if there's something new, you're not gonna be as good as it on it as on something old which you are practicing, right?
Yeah, the one thing that Dramis and RMV said about that is like I think it was Dramis that said with high ping it's a lot easier to hit for some reason.
Hmm.
Yup seems to think the opposite. So it's gonna
Yeah,
be interesting
yeah,
to see how those two play on LAN.
yeah. Which is weird because even on Discord there were clips where Yap is shooting a rail and the crosshair is like 10 meters away from his opponent, and the rail still hits. Like
I
on
can say
LAN,
that
On
I've played
LAN, you
versus
need
Yup.
a fucking microscope on your
Yeah,
railgun to hit a rail, because even if you miss by centimeter, it's not gonna register. So he might be like really like disappointed with some shots.
I agree. And don't forget, like, there's not that much of picker's advantage on LAN.
Hmm.
So if you play aggressive, you're gonna get punished by a lot of weapons because it's a lot easier to hit someone rushing in.
Yeah,
I can say
people.
that I've played versus Yep on like South American servers while I had like 180 ping, and I was actually shocked at how easy it was to hit some shots.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he will be just stopped by LG and stuff like this. But I'm still also curious, like, what is their placement? Let me check. Like for now, uh, Big Flop. Okay, they are top 8. So they
Yep,
And
I believe.
Did psygib effortless play this
I don't
comp?
think they've played the last
They
one.
didn't, right?
No, I think they've been slacking a bit. I haven't seen them for a month.
That's weird because they were also kind of good, right?
Yeah.
I think they were really good, to be honest. And there is still some tricks. So Johan and Hron, and they still got points, like 5.
And Eri Joss, Baze, and Zenek were also in 7th place, and I think Zenek completely stopped playing 2v2 now.
Yeah, he's like, what is he doing?
I don't know. I remember talking to him, and he said he doesn't really enjoy playing 2v2.
Okay, so he's waiting for some 1v1 tournaments. Do you think any speculation about new Quake are like kind of realistic at the moment?
Nah, I think the speculations were about the new game from like Bethesda and stuff, and
Hmm.
it's the Doom, right? It's been announced. That's it.
Hmm.
I don't think there's any new Quake in the making.
Yeah. Okay, so we also got Okay, pop.
Have you seen the link that I sent you, by the way? The guys from plusforward have been working on a
Mhm.
2v2 power ranking, basically.
Power ranking. No, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
it's on our RDMs.
Okay, wait a sec. Uh,
Basically, they've taken all
okay, I
of the
see
games
now.
from 2v2 Cups this year and made a ranking.
What? Oh my God.
It's not completely fixed yet because in some teams like it shows Buckster and Garpy when it was Buckster and someone else, but
Yeah, they are
most of it
mixed
is
teams.
fine.
So, for example, if I played with Ron, I'm there, and if I played with keltz, I'm also there, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying that
Like,
at least in one or two, they they mixed it up unintentionally
okay, okay. So if I okay, Rapha and Maxter are top one now, right?
for like almost 90 points because they haven't lost a map in like two
Okay, so
months
it's
apparently.
yeah,
Wow,
win rate, match results. Okay,
map. I mean the game.
okay. So it's very similar to what we had in 1v1, right? Because it was the
Yeah,
same on this side. Vedmedik, yenOm, toxron. That's interesting, actually. Super cool. And who is doing that?
I think Zoo is doing that.
Okay. Jesus, that's so much of data and
Yeah,
statistics and everything. It will be your dream job, right?
exactly. Except I would love to do it in an Excel spreadsheet and not in a website.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Um, okay, next Estoty and KeenCon. Do you think Maxter Rafa gonna win or keltz
Yeah,
can come back?
I mean they can come back. I just think there's like a 60% chance or like a 70% chance that Max and Rafa win both.
Okay. I
But I think
honest,
Keltz and Sirius can definitely win one of them.
I honestly think keltz and st0n3 have more chance to win KeenCon than Estoty. Because I think they're gonna practice more for KeenCon than for Estoty.
That's
So
true.
they might catch up a little bit.
And I
Okay.
think Keltz and Sirius are starting to get a little bit, bored of playing now,
You think so?
even though they haven't played much, and they're still ahead by like so much in the KeenCon. So they
Yeah.
might not play one of those two tournaments.
Yeah.
Like they're 16 points ahead.
Yeah. That's a lot. But you're also getting a lot for first place because, like, Chicago
Yeah, it's 10
Dogos,
points.
yeah, they started really like rough. And look, they won one or two and they already on second place.
How many more are there?
Uh,
There's three more. Okay, three
that's
more.
three more.
For if Chicago Dogs win the next two, they obviously they pass cheaters. But if cheaters get second place in one of them, they
I
pass them again.
okay.
Like all cheaters have to do is like
Now cheaters
out of
will
the
be
three.
placing top two, top three, like all the time.
Yeah, but they can still
No
place
chance.
top one. If
Yeah,
they
and
get second
yeah,
place in the next three, they get top one easily.
I think they will stay on first place. It's like
Probably, unless they decide not to play at all,
I don't think
they will.
so. Why would they? It's just one day and it's like
Yeah,
good for practice, and there is some money also involved. Okay, so we got three more. Let me check
and
it.
probably three more KeenCons, three more Estoties as well, I guess.
Yep. And the finals are early November, right?
Yeah,
Where is the schedule? Let me.
finals will be on the 1st to the 3rd of November.
Okay, I'm checking. Yep. Okay, so last month is September. So October we are completely free and we can
October
practice.
is vacation time.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you think? Okay, so you are like closely working with KeenCon, right? Because you are doing like those Sunday podcasts with
Yeah,
players and people involved with Quake and KeenCon. What do you think is their plan for next year? Do you think they are happy with what they're getting now, or they would like to get something more out of Quake, or do you think there is a chance we're gonna have like another league next year? And if they would want to make something, do you think they would switch to 1v1 or stick to 2v2?
I think they might want to like alternate game modes every year to keep it sort of fresh.
Whoa.
And from what I can tell with my talking to Sombra, he
Hmm.
doesn't seem like he wants to stop with Quake at all. I
Okay.
told him that maybe he should because he's just spending money, not really getting any. But
Hmm.
he kind of has an obsession slash love with
With
Quake
Quake,
that
yeah.
is a bit too much to stop. So he wants to keep going and he wants to like make it bigger.
I can tell.
So
I can see that in Sombra. He's like very passionate with
yeah,
everything he does, and I had this feeling already before they announced like this 2v2 league. Like when I was in the Spain on last KeenCon, and I was a bit speaking with him before they like made this announcement on the stage. I kind of like saw that he really is into it and he wants to do more. And I just thought at that time that he's just gonna do like yearly like lance, you know. But then
yeah,
they
like
announced
what
this league, which is good.
what he would want is to have like two KeenCons a year,
Hmm.
and for them to be as big as QuakeCon, basically.
Yeah, that would be crazy good.
Yeah,
And this is
I don't
what I
know if we'll
wish.
get there, but I suppose that's like the dream scenario.
Yeah, and this is what I would wish for us all. That would be great. Anyway, that's it, I think, Bruno. As always, I appreciate a lot you coming to me speaking about those things.
Yes, I love how much notice you always give me a lot of days in advance.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you a lot, and I keep in touch with you.
All right,
Yeah.
see you guys.